Move mouse? Guys, it's not mouse, it's just fucking... I forgot. I forgot I had a dog. Your bed. It's the first time in bed. Oh, good boy, Bass. Although. Alright, story time, boys. Story time. So, why was I gone yesterday? What I've been doing? Trust me, I haven't had a great time. So, everything I've been doing with the internet, told you guys that, I've been doing it. So, we had a lot of issues with Bass, our dog. He was very calm the first few days. When we had him, he was a great dog, you know, and he was very like cool and chill. But as he settled in, things were getting like a lot worse and worse for him, and we were very confused. You know, we don't really know why. Me and my roommate. So things were getting a lot worse for him. He was snapping at people, right? It all started kind of like, we noticed he was like kind of growling at strangers and stuff. And then, you know, it's a rescue, it's normal. And then my mom came into the apartment and he snapped towards her, you know? And he almost attacked her and we had to physically hold him back. And when I say physically hold back a dog, it's not like, oh, we have to hold back a puppy. Dude, he weighs at least 45 kilos. And when he goes for something, I have to use all my weight like to hold him back. So he's a big boy, you know? Like, that's you gotta hold him. As like a bigger than a pit bull, guys. It's a like German Shepherd size, but big one, you know? 45 kilos, yeah, he was a huge dog. A lot bigger than when it said when we got him. It was supposed to be 30, but yeah. So we were really confused what to do. Called like professional dog psychologists. Called a lot of people, you know, try to help. Gorgc, that's the...
Hi, Greg.
Talked to a lot of people, and some people said he needs to settle in. And this and that. The dog psychologist had a few tricks and whatnot. The dog was like really good to us overall, to me and my roommate. We trained him from being kind of like not even potty trained. We potty trained him. He knew like sit, paw, lay down. You know, he was listening. He was pretty chill. And he didn't. Now he poops and pees outside and all that. So we got all that taken care of. And then, but he still wasn't getting better. It was getting worse. You know. So at nights he would just growl and bark at the wall. And we didn't know what was going on because he went from chill to like that, like he snapped a bit from nowhere. And he was advertised as a calm dog, you know, which he was for the first few days. When we started, like, we don't know what's happening, right? At one point in the night, like I just got up to go to the bathroom or whatever. Maybe I went to this room to the computer a bit. And I went back, and this was like his third or fourth day, and he snapped at me, you know, and he snapped like he didn't know. He thought I was an intruder, so he went for me, you know. Kind of like barked really loudly and growled. And usually I'm not scared, but that's like the first time I've been really scared because, you know, when a big dog like that bares his teeth at you in the middle of the night, and he's loud, you know, he fucking sounds like the loud, like as a concert loud, you know, in the apartment, and you're like, holy shit, dude. Now it was going on me, and he took a step towards me. Even he was really close to me. But as soon as he noticed it was me, he calmed down. And they were like, shit, dude, I don't know if we can do this. Like, I was like, okay, we can fix this, you know, no problem. But my roommate, I mean, you know, she is a girl, first of all. She did not feel safe with the dog anymore. This was third or fourth day. And she didn't feel like she could control the dog anymore because it was snapping too much, right? And I understand, like, her problem. She couldn't trust him anymore because I can't train him alone, and she trains him most of the time when I'm streaming, right? Because I'm streaming pretty much every day, so she has to do most of it. So we called around, like we tried to maybe try to relocate him at this point. Like we called all the Swedish. We call them. We don't have shelters here. We have like jourhem, which means like. Second homes, you know, temporary homes until he finds someone, because we couldn't. I mean, she couldn't really handle him, you know. And then I can't do it alone because I'm streaming, as well. And eventually, like that was impossible. We even put up some ads. All the people that replied, they weren't good fit, so we had to call the people we adopted him from, the shelter. They wouldn't take him back either, and it was like very complicated, right? So. Eventually, we called a shelter in Germany. We got in touch with them through the adoption agency. And they told us a lot of things we didn't know about the dog, because they knew a lot more about the dog than we did. They told us that this dog was not supposed to be in our apartment. They severely mismatched us, and it wasn't really our fault he was acting up. I'm sure we weren't like experienced dog owners, right? But it wasn't really our fault because he's a he's a Greek sheepdog or Greek shepherd kind of dog, and he is not supposed to be in an apartment this small. And he's not ever supposed to be with first-time dog owners because they're extremely territorial and they're very hard to train out of it. So we were very mismatched with the dog because we asked for a calm dog and whatnot, and we got a dog in an apartment that that was why he was acting out and randomly snapping, because he wasn't feeling like he didn't have what he needed, right? He didn't have what he needed. And I was very sad, I was like, oh fuck, I was very sad during all this. Like I didn't want to give up the dog at all, but I understood my roommate, like I have to do what's safe for her. I can't put her in danger, right? And he'd been here for 3 or 4 days, so we thought the sooner the better. He could find some better place, it would be better for him, right? Like we played. It's like, for those of you that say we didn't walk him or anything like that, you guys are crazy. He literally got a 40-minute walk in the morning. In the afternoon, we took him out again. We literally potty trained him from scratch, right? We took him out to the yard. He started being a little bit of a... I forgot to mention this before we thought about even giving him up, was that he's very territorial, right? He was great with strangers the first few days. Then he started like snapping at strangers, even outside a little bit. Like we couldn't let kids close to him and stuff like that. Obviously that's trainable, but it's tough, We got complaints from the landlord that we have to muzzle our dogs because he was growling at kids, and especially if we ran into them in the hallway of the apartment, that was even bigger problem, because then, he really growls. And when that dog growls, it's not like a fucking small little thing growls. It sounds like a fucking demon is growling, And that scared the shit out of the children. So that's why we kind of had to... we had to find him a new home, it was impossible. And these things is like, he's just protecting me and my roommate, right? So he doesn't know better. It's not his fault. It's never the dog's fault. This is trainable, but we're like first-time owners, right? Like this is overwhelming a little bit.
Hello Gorp, that dog experience didn't last long. Not as long as my...
Okay, so what do we do? Yes, so the German shelter woman said they would take him. They have like 20, 25 dogs just like him, but that's in Germany, right? What do I want to say? Yeah, so I had to arrange transport somehow, and I called a professional driver, because getting him on an airplane is basically impossible. There weren't no direct flights. So I hired a professional driver and to drive him down, and with my roommate. So that's like a 12-hour, 13-hour drive. It's across 2-3 countries. And we hired him. He came. Bass was being okay and all. We put him in the transport cage, but the transport cage doesn't fit in his car, right? Because it's a huge dog in a huge cage. So I go to the shop. We go to the shop. We buy like an entire cover for the car. We buy like a seatbelt attachment. And then as soon as we're thinking about putting him in the back of the car, without the cage, he literally snaps at the driver because he's a stranger, And he starts barking really loudly, and the driver's like, bro, I can't drive with this thing in my back seat. It's impossible. This was yesterday, by the way, so I was dealing with all this stuff yesterday while trying to find... Okay, first of all, the first professional driver I wanted to come didn't come at all. He just didn't come in time. So I had to find another guy, and this is the second guy. And the car, he wouldn't fit in the car. Now he can't sit in the back seat. Even bigger problem. I try to find a bigger car. Ends up I have to rent the car as well. And I rented a bigger car for the driver to drive him down. Then the cage fit finally. Then they're off on their way, pretty much. It was a hell of a fucking experience. Now the driver's driving to Germany, and he's on his way back now, so... It is kind of a lot of money. But the other option is we put the dog down, but I wasn't willing to do that. Not especially if I could just use money to get him to a place where he could just chill with other dogs and be in an environment. Like, some people would have maybe not even... I'm lucky enough to be financially stable to be able to do this, but I understand a lot of people would have put the dog down because he's snapping at kids and stuff like that. But, you know, I don't think... It wasn't actually a dog's problem. He was a very sweet dog. It's just his genetics, you know? Like, he protects people and... like, we were just very mismatched with the adoption agency. Like, they didn't know...
Actually, fuck everyone.
They didn't know what... they didn't know we're first of all living in an apartment, or that we're first-time owners, or that we aren't experienced with guard dogs and stuff like that, right? And he was way bigger than we expected too. Like, he was supposed to be like, you know, we expected like golden retriever size, kind of. But he was like if you saw him next to a golden retriever, he was towering over it and like double the length. Like, he was like, it looked like he was part Great Dane, you know, one of those fucking huge dogs. Yeah, but luckily now he's at the German place and he seems pretty happy, and they knew exactly how to handle him, is what I heard. That's great. But that took all day yesterday, as you can imagine, guys. I left out a lot of details and even more problems and a lot of stuff, right? But overall, that's the general gist of the story.